All right, let's get right into it. We're going to tackle a huge question today. With AI that can literally write code for you, what's the future for actual human programmers? I mean, are we about to become obsolete? Or is there maybe a little bit more to the story? Let's find out.
And this is it, isn't it? The big question that's on everyone's mind. If you can just type a sentence into an AI and get a whole program back, why on earth would you spend all those hours learning something like Python? It's a totally fair question, and we are going to dive right into it.
So, this is where you see two totally different ways of looking at this. The common view, what you hear a lot, is that AI just generates programs, so coding is becoming, well, optional. But the deeper truth? It's actually the opposite. AI makes truly skilled programmers more valuable than they have ever been. Let's break down why that is. And that brings us to our first major point, the absolute, irreplaceable value of human skill. Especially now. You have to start thinking of AI as a tool, a really powerful one for sure, but not a replacement for real expertise. This quote just hits the nail on the head. Think about it like this. Anybody can ask an AI to write a sentence, but it takes a real writer to put those sentences together to tell a compelling story. It's the exact same thing with programming. Having that deep foundational knowledge of a language like Python, well, that's what separates someone who just uses AI from someone who truly commands it. So what are these skills that AI just can't touch? Well, yeah, an AI can spit out some code, but can it really understand the business reason behind it? Can it look at that code and evaluate it for efficiency, or for security holes, or for how it's going to scale in 5 years? And what about taking a messy old program and figuring out how to improve it? And maybe most important of all, can it stare at a blank screen and solve a brand new complex problem with nothing but creativity and logic? No. These are the skills that make a great programmer someone who uses AI as a super-powered assistant, not as a crutch. Okay, so we've established that this deep knowledge is the goal. But how do you actually get there? You need a structured path, a roadmap. And that's where something like the PCAP certification comes in as a really useful guide. So what is PCAP? Well, it stands for Python Certified Associate Programmer. And really, it's just a framework for learning that makes sure you build your knowledge from the ground up the right way. It's a way to show people, like employers, that you not only have the skill, but you also have the commitment to really master your craft. And this is what that kind of structured approach actually looks like. See, you don't just jump into the deep end. You start with the absolute core fundamentals, things like variables and control flow. Then you build on top of that with functions and modules. And only then do you get to the big concepts like object-oriented programming. Every step builds on the last one, so you get a complete picture, not just random bits and pieces of knowledge. Now for the really exciting part. Let's talk about how all this knowledge actually translates into real-world stuff. Because at the end of the day, it's all about what you can do with these skills. When you have a proven mastery of Python, you're not just learning a skill. You're opening doors to some of the most exciting fields out there today. We're talking software development, data analysis, and yeah, even working directly in AI and machine learning. You can build scripts to automate boring tasks, or you can launch your own projects and build your own ideas from scratch. And that's really the endgame here, isn't it? It's about freedom. The freedom to not be totally dependent on a tool you don't really understand. It's about having the confidence to lead a technical project, to actually innovate, and to know deep down that you have the skills to turn an idea into a reality. That's what true mastery gives you. Okay, now here's where things get really interesting. There's a bit of a twist. We've been talking about how human skill is what you need to command AI. But what if you could use AI to help you build that very skill? Let's check out this new approach from the AI Bridge Foundation called pinned AI tutors. So instead of a generic chatbot that completely forgets who you are the second you close the tab, imagine having a dedicated AI tutor for each topic in Python. One for functions, another for loops, a different one for classes. And here's the key. It actually remembers your journey. Just look at this comparison. It's night and day. A general AI chat, it resets every single time. It gives you a one-off answer, which is helpful in the moment, I guess, but it leads to scattered, fragmented learning. A pinned AI tutor, on the other hand, remembers what you've already asked, it knows where you're getting stuck, and it builds on concepts over time. It's the difference between having a random chat and having a real mentor. What this does is it turns your studying into this ongoing, interactive partnership. You get to explore things at your own speed, get instant feedback on the code you write, and this is huge. You can go back to those tricky concepts again and again until you finally feel confident. The whole thing is designed to make sure you get a deep, practical understanding that really gets you ready for the real world.
So let's bring it all home. What does all of this mean for your future with technology? It's really about a fundamental shift in how you think about your role.
This right here, this is the whole point. The future doesn't belong to people who can just type a prompt into an AI. It belongs to the people who have the deep knowledge to understand, to direct, and to improve what that AI spits out. The goal is to go from being a user to being a creator, a director, an architect. So, with all that in mind, there's really only one question left to ask. With the power of deep programming knowledge in your hands and the incredible leverage of AI as your tool, what are you gonna build?